I've waited plenty times, waited for each Christmas morning, waited for my first gun, waited for my first pony, waited for the woman I'd make my wife, knowing I'd find her somehow, waited for that woman all my life. Tell me, boys, how's it work that I still gotta wait for her now? Did spring come to Texas? Am I just going loco? My girls come to Texas, and the mesquite and the laurel and the wild cherry and the guajillo seem to have blossomed for her. And I gotta swallow my pride. I've waited for the greening, for the roundup, for the roping, for the branding, for the ranchers and the cowboys to ride. Spring came to Texas, and I'm still waiting for my bride. He puts on his hat, clock, button. That's the opening number for our lead character, Bick. And it's called Spring Comes to Texas. Did spring come to Texas? It's a rhetorical question because obviously spring has come. But he's still waiting for his bride, Leslie, to show up and meet all the gang at this wonderful barbecue that he has arranged for her. This remarkable woman whom he met in Virginia and is now bringing to Texas. Bick is a man who's been brought up to run the ranch, to run this kingdom of Riata. It's a 2.5 million acre ranch, a lot of land, a lot of cattle, and he's been raised to take over the reins of running this ranch. And Bick also struggles with the fact that he has to hang on to tradition, to the things that his grandfather believed in, that his forefathers believed in, and the love of the land being first and foremost in his heart, as he tells Leslie. And I find him very a great character of what America is. We love our past and we love our traditions, and we also love change too, but sometimes we're very frightened of it. And that's Bick's struggle through the show, and eventually he does come to understand that change is inevitable and that he has to give over to that as well. The niece of Edna Ferber, Julie Gilbert, came to me. This is quite a few years ago. And she came to me and she brought the book. She said, would you be interested in musicalizing my aunt's novel, Giant? And I had been familiar with the book. I'd read it when I was a kid. It was one of my mom's favorite books. And I knew the movie, obviously. I read the book and I got back to her and I said, absolutely not. Too many cows. You know, it was just crazy, and it covered 27 years of a marriage and just vast things. And I said, I don't know how one could do this epic thing. I had no idea. So I said, thank you very much, but no. And then 5 years later, after Marie Christine and Wild Party had premiered, she came back to me again and said, have you thought about doing this again? And I said, okay, let me read it again. I read it again, and then I had a glimmer. There was something different about it. Maybe I had changed, maybe I understood something, maybe I saw something a little bit more, but I wasn't sure if I could do it alone. It was such a vast idea, and I needed a great writer to work with. And I turned to my colleague, Sybil Pearson, whom I teach with at NYU, and I turned to her one day and I said, would you like to work on a show with me? And she goes, what is it? And I said, Giant. And I handed the book to her. She took it and read it, and she turned to her husband and said, no. You know, but eventually she reread it too, and she felt the same thing that I felt. There was a glimmer, there were ideas, something popped, and that's how we both held hands, Sybil and I, and we proverbially, dove off the deep end. Leslie is a fascinating character to me, and in the book, she's the primary character. The book was told primarily through Leslie's eyes, and she still is a primary character and quite a motivator in the show, because her coming to Texas sets off a chain of events. I think what Leslie does is she thinks that by reading about something is the same thing as experiencing something. And I think we all sometimes have those moments too, until you've actually experienced going to some place or doing something. Reading about it isn't always enough. And what she experiences upon first coming to Texas and what she experiences after living there for 25 years is quite a treacherous journey for her. This is a little bit of Leslie's song here, Your Texas, where it's the first time she's meeting Bick, and she's explaining her wild daydreams that she has about what she reads in the books and her ideal of Texas to Bick, which he finds rather amusing as she does this. So. Somebody else may spend her life in search of the perfect butter knife to pair with a proper fork and proper spoon. Don't laugh, but I'd rather read Rousseau and Emerson, Carlyle, and Thoreau. Right here in my father's chair, I've read the sort of ideas that cloud my head with daydreams, big and small. I have daydreams, don't we all? When I read Thoreau, I smiled. He said all good things are free and wild. Your Texas, now I don't know your Texas, but even so I imagine that a man can be more independent, wild and free in Texas. The last frontier is Texas, and unlike here, there's a great unknown just waiting there for those who wish to dream and dare. Your Texas, and etc., etc. They go into a duet and they fall in love and they get married. He wanted a girl sung by a character of Vashti Haik, and she's the girl that Bick was supposed to marry. And she's also becomes a friend of Leslie's once that's all cleared up. And Vashti represents new money, new Texas, new, but also too, her trek is how life has changed for her from wanting to marry Bick to marrying a ranch hand, where we learn about the political ramifications of marrying a ranch hand when you're a ranch owner's daughter. But yet she finds a way to make that work, and it's a beautiful character, and I love this character very, very much. He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads. He wanted a girl who cries porcelain tears. He wanted a girl who put locks on the door to protect all the gemstones she's got in her ears. But I'm a girl who likes dusty roads, 'cause I am a girl who enjoys the outside, yeah. I was that girl who could keep up with him and would follow him anywhere he chose to ride. And we would ride barrel-assing through the gullies, pitching tent and chewing jerky, showing off our scratches and favorite scars, teaching me to hold my bourbon, coaxing me to play my fiddle, making up songs, singing them to the stars. We'd laugh ourselves to sleep. That's something I can keep. That's something I can keep in my heart. He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads. He found him a girl who hates dusty roads. Their hearts was meant to fit. So I'll be the fiddle playing, bourbon drinking girl who'll learn to live with it. Giant spans about 25, 27 years of history of Bick's family. And of course, Bick and Leslie have children, and we meet the children, and we also meet the children's friends. Among them are the Mexicans as well, who have grown up too within the Riata Ranch, Riata town. One of them is Angel Jr., whom Leslie incidentally discovers as a baby crying and helps his mother at that time when she discovers them on the ranch. angel represents to me like the sort of the upward mobility factor that happens, that they will not be like their parents or won't, work the ranch. There's got to be something more. But, this is an angel song here, Jump Here. It's a little boogie woogie, because we're now heading towards the, 45-ish or so. So it has a little Texas boogie woogie in it. I've been looking to move since I learned how to walk. I've been looking to move since I learned how to talk. Now I've been looking for what is mine. Oh, we still don't cross that line. Don't step out of your box, boy, don't you dare. Well, I've been looking to jump out of my square. I want a suit, drape, shape, a rough huff. I can't wear no zoot suit here. Go find a hot spot, a fine dime, and puff stuff. Now get out of bed and free and clear. I've been looking to live since I learned there was more. I've been looking to live like I ain't lived before. Packing groceries, life ain't that. All I gotta show for that's this hat. I know I got a life to live somewhere. So I'm gonna jump out of my square. I can't do the choreography. He does this fabulous little move there. Miguel Cervantes is fabulous in the role as Angel, and he's really, really terrific. I love the character of Juana very, very much in this show. She, Geordie Jr., Bic's son, falls in love with her. Juana wants to be a teacher, and she wants to, only teach at Mexican schools. She sings a song called There Is a Child. She encourages Geordie to, not stand up to his father, but to be honest about what he wants from his life. And I think this motivates him to become the man that he becomes, which Bic takes a while to understand, but then eventually embraces that and sees in his son what he himself could be. There is a child who's not aware there's a world outside his little square. He must be shown how beautiful the square he's given is, and that he can get out of it and see the world is his. I'll teach my little ones how to move and jump. I'll teach my little ones not to feel defeat. If we take the best of where we come from and the best of what we are, we'll have something that no one can beat. There is a child who'll find his place. He won't have to hide or lie about his race. I'll teach that child how beautiful the future ought to be. And then one day my child will say, Yo soy Americano, yo soy Mexicano. The world is known to me. There's no other word for it all. It's like floating sometimes out of your body when you see this remarkable cast, devoting themselves to telling this story. They own it. And it's not mine anymore, and it's not Sybil's anymore, it's not the director's anymore, Michael Greif's. It's theirs, and you see them doing that when I go to the performance, I see this thing and I'm going, oh my God, where did it come from? And it's coming from inside of them, the actors. It's coming from inside of the musicians, the telling of the story, and the cohesiveness of how they tell it and how all together they are on the same thing. They're sharing this now with the world, and it's great when that thing gets passed on. It's really a remarkable thing. That's my experience when I go and see a show that I've written.